like I said, the platform is set up in a better way to connect with people, with the tools, the way to reach people that you can't necessarily reach on Facebook. Facebook is more about geared towards friends, people accepting, your friends' requests and all of that. Whereas Instagram, anybody can follow you. I get people from all over that follow me. I don't even know half the people that follow me. But it's a better way to connect. And I've really built like a community around the people that follow me, and really make it a point to provide a lot of value and just being myself, being authentic. I think so many people don't approach, especially realtors, don't really approach social media and Instagram the right way. They think they've got to be professional, and I got to sell them on why I'm a great realtor. And it's like, no, just be you, be yourself. You are the brand.
You are listening to the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast with host Kevin Jefferson. This is the #1 podcast for African American real estate professionals who are doing extraordinary things. It's time to tune in. And now, your host, the People's Lender, Kevin Jefferson.
Welcome to the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson, and today our guest is Miss Angela Thompson. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, doing very well.
I'm doing well as well. Angela, tell us a little bit about who you are.
So my name's Angela Thompson. I am a realtor, and I own my own real estate brokerage called Monument Real Estate Services. And we're based out of Cleveland, Ohio, and also have locations in Columbus, Ohio, and Charlotte, North Carolina. We have a property management division as well. So we work with all buyers, sellers, investors. But I'm also a mom. I have 3 little kids. My husband and I have been married for, it'll be 10 years this year. And I don't know, I just really enjoy, probably on my off time, I'm good to get a good nap in whenever that happens. But, sometimes it's like the little things, my downtime, I like to rest and listen to good audiobooks. So.
Gotcha. What are you listening to now?
We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel. What is her last name? I should know this. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, very good book. Very good book.
Gotcha. Do you do a lot of personal development, or you just like to read?
I do. I'm a big believer in it because we always have to be working on ourselves, working on our minds. I think our minds can be our greatest asset and our greatest enemy at times, depending on what you're feeding it. And to really get ahead in life and excel in whatever you want to do, you really have to constantly be feeding your mind with the right things. And so I think personal development is important.
Gotcha. So when you read, and I've heard 2 different stories, right? When you read, how do you select the book that you're looking for? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Lately, it's been just a lot of recommendations, or I'm a part of a book club. So we'll read, the head of that book club will choose the books. But a lot of times it's books similar to We Should All Be Millionaires, just inspirational books about personal development. Like, how do we push past our fears? How do we push past insecurities? How do we build yourself up, each other up, motivational. So those are the kinds of books. I don't really read fiction too much, that kind of. Yeah. And my one friend will get on me. She's like, well, you're not really reading if it's an audiobook. And I'm like, I still got all the same information. Okay. I don't have time to sit down and read, but I'll read, but that's our running joke.
Gotcha. Well, that's how they started. They used to read to us when we were kids. So same thing now.
Same thing. No different. That's right. And I'm going to tell her that too.
So what got you into real estate?
So real estate, it's interesting because it's kind of always been one of those things in the back of my mind, like growing up. I remember my dad, we kind of like drive around different neighborhoods and you just kind of look at the big houses and be like, I wonder who lives there. Wow, that's a nice house and this and that. And I wasn't really planning on getting into real estate until I graduated from college at Ohio State. And I had an internship for a couple summers with Kraft Foods, and they offered me a job when I graduated, but the offer was crappy. I was like, I've been working for y'all and I've been putting in work and I've proven myself. And I thought I should, even though I just graduated, I was like, I need more than this. And they wanted me to like move to New Jersey on like a Cleveland salary. And I'm like, these numbers are added up. So I respectfully declined. I ended up going back to Ohio State for a career fair, and I'm walking through the aisles and someone stops me and they're like, how would you like to make 6 figures a year? And I was like, tell me more. And so that was kind of the beginning of me going ahead and getting interviewed and starting as a sales consultant for Pulte Homes, which is a national home builder. So I started my career in new construction sales, which was amazing training ground. I got the best sales training and experience in that role. I learned everything that you could ever possibly know about houses, because when you're building houses, you learn all of the fundamentals and all the things. And so that was really my start in real estate. I did that for 4 years, and then the market tanked. And everything went south, and I ended up getting laid off. Got out of real estate for a little while, had a different job, a job I hated, and then got back into it later when I realized, no, this is my passion. This is where I should be.
Got you. So when you worked for Pulte Homes, what year was that?
So that was 04, like end of 04 to end of 08.
Okay.
So, yeah, very different times.
Yeah. And when did you jump back in?
2014. So about a month after I had my first daughter. So I ended up getting my real estate license. I took my test for my license. I was 9 months pregnant. And I remember going to the test like, I got to pass this test because there's no coming back after I had this baby. And 9 months pregnant, took the test and went on maternity leave. Came back from maternity leave, first day back, quit my job, and never looked back. So,
wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So right now, I discovered you through Instagram.
Yes.
So is Instagram your main source of social media interaction?
It is, yes. Social media for me is like 95% Instagram. I still do a little bit on Facebook. Facebook is really was my first baby when it came to social media, but Instagram has proven to be a better platform when it comes to running my business and connecting with people. And so Facebook's a little more reserved for like my OGs, like people who've always been around for a long time, my family, all of that. I'm exploring TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I have a few videos on TikTok. I need to put more of my videos on there, but I'm kind of one platform at a time.
Gotcha. So what made you stick with Instagram the way you do?
So Instagram for me, like I said, the platform is set up in a better way to connect with people, with the tools, the way to reach people that you can't necessarily reach on Facebook. Facebook is more about geared towards friends, people accepting, your friends' requests and all of that. Whereas Instagram, anybody can follow you. I get people from all over that follow me. I don't even know half the people that follow me. But it's a better way to connect. And I've really built like a community around the people that follow me, and really make it a point to provide a lot of value and just being myself, being authentic. I think so many people don't approach, especially realtors, don't really approach social media and Instagram the right way. They think they've got to be professional and I got to sell them on why I'm a great realtor. And it's like, no, just be you, be yourself. You are the brand.
So if I was to post on Instagram and I'm trying to, without selling, sell myself, what would be the first thing you would do in terms of a post? Hopefully that made sense.
No, that's a great question because I get that a lot. People are like, well, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to post. And I always say like the best, like first post, if you're going to post anything, is your why. Tell people your why. It could be your why for why you started real estate. You know, just like the story. Well, actually, I didn't really tell you my whole why. Like I told you a little bit of how I got started in real estate, but what was my why for getting back into real estate? And for me, the market crashed. I was so unsure about if I should like stay in real estate, not. And I went and got kind of a quote unquote like safe job just to kind of pay the bills. And I hated that job. I did it for over 3 years and I hated every minute of it. But that's what we do because we got, get paid every 2 weeks. You got bills to pay. You got, you're going to get benefits. So you stick to it. And it wasn't until my husband and I got pregnant with our first child that I really started, and I had kind of been contemplating like what I wanted to do. I was kind of going through one of those, periods of life. You're kind of like, what is my purpose and all that. And I was pregnant and all I kept thinking about was how crappy this would be that I'd give birth to my daughter, have this great experience, and only to leave her with somebody else for 8 hours a day so I can go to this job that I hate. Like that made no sense to me. I said, there's got to be a better way. And that was really the catalyst for me saying, I need to take more control over this. And I need to be doing something with my life that I actually enjoy, because this makes no sense to just spend time just being, just existing, just because. And that was the reason why I got back into real estate. And that's that was my drive to say, hey, I'm not going to just settle in life. Like I'm going to create the life that I want. And I never looked back. And my husband jumped in with me and we've been doing this ever since. And I have no regrets. And that's my why. And people connect with that.
Right.
When you tell your story and they're like, man, me too. Or I got into real estate because of this or that. Like that's the emotion. That's the really the piece that a lot of people miss because they're so busy trying to sell you why they need to be a realtor. But tell your why. That's an easy post. That's like, well, maybe not easy for everybody, but easy enough to where you shouldn't have to think about it. You know what your why is.
Got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. So I've posted my why. What I do next? I guess my better question is, if we can get into it, what is the strategy of posting? Is there more than one, or is there a strategic plan that you need to have when you're trying to grow on Instagram? Not just followers, but your business as well.
Exactly. No, it's all strategy for me. And this is what I teach people in my coaching program, because I have a program where realtors are like, hey, I need to learn this social media marketing because Instagram is not going away. If anything, it's getting bigger. They're adding more and more to it. And so if you aren't like on the boat and know how to work it, you're missing out and you got to get on. And it's strategy. Like everything I post is for a reason, for an intent, for a purpose. I do not just randomly post. A lot of people just do that. Like, I'm just going to post today, this random, even if it's a quote, like there's a reason why I'm posting this quote. And I have a framework that I teach my students that really guides them through like thinking through the types of posts that you're going to create. And what is your call to action? What is the purpose behind it? Is it just a post that's relatable so that people can kind of get to know you? That's kind of like your why post. Is it a post that's educational? So you're bringing value, you're teaching something. Is it a post just kind of for reach, so you can get, kind of build your following. That's more for what reels are for. Are you posting because you want to drive people to your home buyer guide or your home seller guide, and you want them to sign up for that? Like, everything has to have a purpose and a meaning, and there's a way to sell without selling. Like, you got to become a better storyteller. And so, yeah, there's definitely a strategy behind it. There's, and the very first thing that I teach is all about branding, because I think people completely miss the boat on that, because they're not really understanding who their audience is and who they're even speaking to. So for me, I know part of my brand is me being a mom, and I incorporate my family and my kids into my Instagram, into my social media, because I know that my audience too are women who are moms, or women who are, young professionals like myself. And so that's largely my audience. And I speak to that. And I don't always just show the good. I show the vulnerable side of, yeah, my kid was screaming because his banana broke in half, and and I couldn't put it back together for him. So it was a 10-minute tantrum about this banana. But again, like, you got to be real and authentic, because that's you, and people appreciate that. Because at the end of the day, people are not really buying what you're selling before they buy into you, especially in real estate.
Right.
Especially in real estate. These are big purchases. These are big sales. Like, people want to know who they're working with. They want to know, hey, if I'm going to work with you, are we going to get along? What's your personality like? Are we going to mesh? Like, yeah, they want to know that you can do your job, but people are largely deciding who to work with based on if they like you or not. And you got to let people know who you are.
Right. What comes first? The framework, or do you start posting for consistency and then work into it?
I definitely think you need the framework first.
Okay.
Because consistency, people get confused about consistency. People think consistency means I got to post every day, or I've got to post, a certain amount of times a day. And that's not really what consistency is. Consistency is just consistently showing up how you want to show up. That might not necessarily mean every day. That could mean, hey, I'm going to show up 3 times a week in a post, and I'm going to post in my stories every day, but I'm consistent with that. But until you have your framework together, until you've figured out your brand, you know who your real audience is, then you're going to just be posting randomly. And again, every post has a purpose. Even if, like I said, even if it's just a quote, like it has a purpose behind it. And until you realize why you're posting and the strategy behind it, so that you can lead people down the path to working with you, then you're really just going to be randomly posting.
Gotcha. And it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to be clear on our message, is basically what you're saying, because if you listen to people, oh, you need to post 3-4 times a day, or 3 to 5 times a day, or just do something so you can stay consistent. And I've heard the same thing that you said, that if consistent for you might be once a day, but to your audience,
Mm-hmm.
you as a realtor in a house, showing the house with your kids because you don't have anybody to watch them, like something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say quality over quantity, because people are going to tune out when you're just doing, like, just constantly posting, and it's, again, and you don't want to burn yourself out just I think anybody who says you should post like 5 times a day or create like 20 reels a week, like, that's a setup for burnout. And you don't have to do that in order to succeed. And you don't have to do all of that just to say, oh, I'm getting my follower count up, because I'd rather have, 3,000 followers and 2,000 of them are really engaged in interacting with my content, and we've got dialogue going on, than have like 20,000 followers and 2,000 of them are engaged. Like, we're too consumed with the wrong numbers.
Got you.
Follower count is great because it does bring you different opportunities. But like if your audience, you're not tuned in and dialed into your audience, then what's really the point? Like this is a business. Like you have to think about this as running a business, and you want those people to be sending you referrals. You want those people to be coming to you and not just following you.
Got you.
Yeah.
How many leads do you think you receive, let's say on a monthly basis, from Instagram, from people that you just don't even know?
Well, see, that's the thing too. Like people focus too much on, let me get leads from people I don't know, but I get a lot of leads from my sphere too. Because again, we've got to nurture our followers. The game is not just to grow and have a lot of followers, and we're constantly going after the new person and not nurturing our own, like the following that we have. And that's largely how I built my business on Instagram before Reels, before all of these tools where you can really start really reaching people. It was Instagram and Facebook allowed me to stay in front of my sphere. And I got referral after referral after referral, or people that I might meet out one time and we were at a party and I met them one time. We start following each other on Instagram, and now we see each other every day, right? And then they think a realtor, they're thinking of me. That wouldn't have happened without Instagram. And it was just, if I just gave them my business card and hoped we might set up a lunch one day, and then the business card ends up underneath their seat in their car, and you never hear from them again. But the beauty of Instagram is now you've made that connection and you can nurture it and foster it, because you're showing up every day, you're showing up consistently with that person. And so we cannot minimize the value of our sphere. We can't minimize the value of the people that are following us and stop always trying to get the next person that we don't know.
Got you. I guess that makes sense, because I think sometimes we might take for granted that our sphere knows what we do.
Yeah.
Which leads to that question. Hey, Kevin, I just brought a house. It's like, you didn't use me? Well, I guess because you're right. Your focus isn't, you're trying to get other people assuming everybody know what you do, and then you have to be reminded.
You got to nurture those people. You've got to, in social media, especially Instagram, is not, I think people think it's, I don't know what to post, and I need to post, I need to post, I need to post. What you really need is to work on how you engage with the people. It's one thing to post, but it's another thing to really connect. And again, nurture. That's what the engagement does, is kind of nurture. So again, it's all strategy. It's all one big, it's like a lot of pieces that all work together at the end of the day. And you can't really have one without the other. You can't just do all reels and think that's like a comprehensive social media marketing strategy. You can't just only post and not, make sure you have doing stories and showing up live and different facets of the tools that you can utilize. And you got to kind of learn the right mix so that you can show up in different ways, because people are going to receive you in different ways. People are going to see you in different ways. And it cannot just be like a one size fits all. You got to really understand what the strategies are and then hone in on your strengths with those.
Got you. What are your thoughts on Instagram pages in terms of having a business and a personal page?
Oh, this is a good one. So for me personally, because what I've been able to create is more of like a lifestyle brand. So for me, my brand and my business is part of my personal. And I think that people, especially in real estate, again, like these are emotional purchases and transactions. These involve like real people. And so many times you think, well, I got to separate who I really am because I got to show up like as a business and professional. And first of all, I think it's just too much work to run two different pages. So let's start there. And then second of all, like if it's all business, who wants that snooze fest? Like nobody wants to go to your page and every post is just sold, just listed, buy from me. I'm a great realtor. Here's why. Like you just vomit on me all day on like real estate. Like that's not going to set you apart because anybody can go and search realtors and they're going to, at the very basic, expect that you can sell a house. They're going to expect that you are determined and that you're going to communicate well. And like, okay, that's a given. What else you got? Okay, that's you and 30 other realtors. Like, so I say don't separate the two if you can. Like, some people do really well and keep it less personal, and I get real personal. So you don't have to maybe go as deep as I do, but mix in a little bit of some storytelling, give people an idea of like your personality. So yeah, one account. And don't make it private.
Gosh.
No private accounts, y'all. Come on now.
The secret agent.
Secret agent, yeah.
So in terms of spending time on your Instagram journey, how much a week should you prep? Because it has to be some prepping in it, or you're just going off the fly, right?
There's definitely prepping. I think once you understand like the framework, like I talked about, then it helps you better guide you in your planning to where, you know, some of my students work best when they plan like week to week. So they kind of pick a planning day and kind of map out their plan at least. And then maybe have a certain amount of time where they're creating their posts and this and that. Some have gone to a point where they can do 2 weeks at a time, a month at a time. So, but you do have to dedicate time to it because I tell people this is no different than any other marketing that you put time into your real estate business. And so it's like, why do you look at social media so different? Because you would have no problem spending 3 hours stuffing 500 envelopes and licking 500 stamps. So you can go and do, you know, farm a neighborhood for 12 months. Because that's marketing. That's what we're taught. And so that's, you know, that's acceptable. But I tell people Instagram is just like farming a neighborhood, right? Because what's the point of farming? The point of farming is you want to target your audience and you want to hit them on a consistent basis. So you're going to do a mailer once a month and you're making those impressions. You're sending it to these households. You're hoping they're opening it or seeing your postcard. And even if they don't call you, you've at least made that impression that month. And then the next month and the next month and the next month. That's farming. When you do it on Instagram, guess what? You're showing up and making those impressions every time you're making a post, every time you're making a story. That is farming, and you're showing up consistently for free. And so when people are like, oh my gosh, I posted 3 times, why am I not getting a lead? Well, you spent 12 months farming this neighborhood. You got 3 leads in 12 months. Like, don't expect this to be a magic pill. This isn't magic. You got to be consistent with it, and you got to do it the right way. But this is the new farming. It really is. Like, take all the traditional things that we do that are so old school and really antiquated, and don't treat this marketing different than your other marketing. Don't say I don't have time to do this marketing, but you have time to do other marketing. This is running your business.
It makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. So with saying that,
okay,
how important is it to go figure out, or as they say, try to figure out the algorithm? Like, what is the algorithm, to be honest with you? What is it? You know, like
the algorithm. Yeah, let's go ask Zuckerberg. Where did you come up with this? So yeah, the algorithm is important. I'm not going to say that it's not, but I tell people you can't live and die by the algorithm either. Because when you post for the algorithm, then that's when you start losing sight of why you're posting. And so even for people who are like, oh, I'm going to create this reel and, oh, I thought it was going to go viral and I thought I was going to get 30,000 views and I only got 5,000 views. And I'm like, was that the point of you posting that reel? Or did you actually want to teach somebody and bring value? Because there's still 5,000 people that saw that and got something from your post. So are you posting for the algorithm? Are you posting for views? Or are you posting because this is all part of strategy on how to connect with people so that they want to hire you? Like, we got to realize what our goals are. So yeah, there's definitely strategy on working with the algorithm because you don't want to work against it. But the goal can't be to post just for the algorithm because you're going to lose sight of really why you're posting and like the quality of your posts.
So what's more important? Posting with your niche and your brand in mind, or trying to make sure you use your brand and then some of what they call the algorithm, like with hashtags and stuff like that?
So if I hear you correct, you're saying how much do you kind of stick to your brand?
So I can rephrase that because that was kind of a long question. Me.
Okay.
I'm a lender, right?
Yeah.
My posting, should I focus on, if I know exactly who I am, I'm looking to attract real estate agents in specific states who I want to do business with, but I want to make myself attractive to them, right? That's my focus. Should I more so concentrate on constantly posting that way, or should I change with the times of algorithms and also adding in reels and, no longer 30 hashtags, 3 to 5 hashtags? What should I focus on to stay consistent? Like once I figure out my target.
Right. Yeah. Because everything's changing constantly, especially last year. I mean, Instagram came up with so many updates on, yeah, we said 30 hashtags now, don't do more than 5. Yeah, you can post your hashtags in your comments. Don't do that anymore. Only post them in your caption. You're like, what do I really do? And at the end of the day, you still always want to post with your target audience in mind. But again, like every post kind of has a different reason. Like I post reels because I know they have reach, and reels are likely going to bring me people that I don't know, but I can get potential referral leads from that. So I can get people who I might not be able to help where I service people, but I can refer them to another realtor and get paid that way. So it really depends on the goal of your post. Again, is my goal for this post to drive people to my link to sign up for a consultation? Am I promoting that? Am I promoting my home buyer guide? Am I just being inspirational on this post to kind of relate? So yeah, I guess to answer your question, it has to be still your focus and your target. Every post has a different reason, or there should be different like call to actions and goals for each post. Regardless of what the algorithm says, because you kind of almost train the algorithm too in how you show up and how people are engaging. Because when you create really engaging content, then the algorithm is like, oh, somebody commented, somebody shared this, somebody saved this, feed it out to more people. Oh, now you're on the explore page. Oh, more people are interacting with it. Oh, feed it out to more people. Like that's how you build that audience. If you post something and you're getting little engagement, Instagram's gonna be like, maybe we'll send it out just to her sphere, but no one really is even interacting with it and from her, her regular followers. So we're not going to push this out to everybody else. Was that that was like a long answer to your question.
It was a long question too. So, I mean, it was a long question, but just trying to, like I said, I've found you on Instagram, and it was a while before I even reached out to you, because I was like, let me see what she does and see if she's actually somebody that I want to interview. And then I just start paying attention. I mean, and I'd be honest with you, I wasn't looking for somebody who had 200,000 followers. But I noticed that even though you have a certain amount of followers, you get quite a few views. So your sphere is engaging. I know a couple of people who got 2,000 followers, and with their product, they make more than somebody with 30,000. So that's why I like your content, and I thought that your reels are funny and then entertaining. You know what I mean? Yeah. Entertaining. And I like the way you mix things up with your family, your work-life balance. So I thought you would be a great person to interview. I want to kind of figure out, sounds like you're mixing the two together now.
I know we had a whole talk about being quiet, and here they are, but.
Nah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. If I'm, and I want to break it down for the person that's listening.
Okay.
I'm a realtor. I don't know what I'm doing on social media. My first post, you told me, okay, go ahead and post your why. Mm-hmm. Is there anything specific I need to do in posting my why? And what I mean is, should it be video? Is it words? Is it a flyer? Should I have hashtags? What would be your recommendation for that first post of my why?
I tell people, when you're getting started, do what's most comfortable first, because that's what you're actually going to end up doing. So if you're not comfortable doing video, then you're going to spend 3 weeks working on your why and never posting it. Because someone told you to do a video and you're like, okay, so just post a picture of yourself. That's the thing, like, post a picture of yourself. It doesn't even have to be doing real estate stuff. Just post a picture of yourself, write out your why, and post it. You don't even have to worry about hashtags. Hashtags are great. There's a purpose, there's a place for hashtags. But like, you don't have to overthink it when it comes to that stuff, because it is your message that people are going to tie to. And that's going to have people commenting, and that's going to have people engaging, and that's going to start conversations. And then somebody might actually DM you. And like, I mean, like that's the goal. It's not, so yeah, I would say start with where you're comfortable. If it's just posting a picture, if it's just posting it to your stories because you're like, this is going to go away in 24 hours and nobody's going to see it, then start where you're comfortable. And that's what I would recommend. Okay.
Now that I've posted my why, what's my next post? Suggestion. What would be my suggestion for the next post? We're talking about realtors.
So there's there's a content mix of different types of posts. So if you do just what we call like a single post, which is kind of like what you're used to seeing on your feed, then you could do that 3 more times. Like, it's not really a matter of like some kind of pattern or anything. But you want to mix in. So like, I have my real quick method or framework. And so real quick is just an acronym. So the first is relatable. So you can have relatable content that you're posting. So that's kind of the stories about, your why. That includes, for me, my family. That includes me telling about, a story about a win or a failure, like being vulnerable, showing up as an actual human being. Those are your relatable posts. Then you have the E, which is educational. So think about what you want to teach people. Think about the questions that you get all the time as a realtor. And if you're getting these questions, most people are going to have the same questions, because let's face it, like most people don't understand real estate, how to buy houses, how to sell houses. Like we have tons of educational content we can provide for people. So E, education. A, authority. Those are your authority posts. So yeah, I talk about people who only post just sold and just listed, and it's so annoying. Please don't do that. But you got to have those, right? Like you don't want your whole page to be that, but you don't want to never post, what your work you're doing, because people want to see you as an authority and an expert in your business. So you've got to post your sales, right? But don't litter your page with them. or authority posts are like when I was featured as a Cleveland Real Producers magazine. I was featured as Top Agent magazine. Like people want to see your accolades and all of that. Those are your authority posts. Then you have what I call your little impressions. So that can be your quotes, sort of sometimes, I guess, more just like quick, like I don't really know what to post today, but I'm going to post an inspirational quote. It's really going to, connect with somebody. Those are usually like your quote posts. And then the Q. So I said it's real quick. So the Q is your quick hitters, and that's your video, your reels, the things that are going to have your reach. So when you think about the real quick framework, so you have R is your relatable posts, E, your education, A, your authority, L are your little impressions, and then Q are your quick hitters, like your reels and video, going live, all of that. This is the framework you work within. So you're like, okay, what do I post next? We'll start here. What do you want to teach? How do you want to show up today? What of you do you want to share? How do you, if you want to do a reel, it could still be an inspirational reel. It can be an authority reel. Like that's how you start thinking about it. And then it naturally something will fall into one of those buckets.
Okay. That sounds simple. It sounds simple. You mentioned that you have a course. Tell us a little bit about your course. Like, how long is it? What it costs? How we can get it?
So I actually just finished up my first round with several realtors from across the country, and it's like a hybrid of a course. So it's not just like a lot of these do-it-yourself courses that you can purchase out there. You spend a couple $100, they kind of train you, and then you're kind of go out there and implement it on your own. What I found is there's value in the modules where I have the actual teaching, and then the group sessions where we meet weekly and we really talk through the strategies, we talk through the methods, and I can help you with your own, personal page. And so that part of it is really where the huge benefit comes in, because now you're getting the support, you're getting the accountability, and you're able to network and work within a group of other realtors who are also working hard to make sure that they can improve on their social media marketing. And so that combination together is really the program. So I'm rolling out the second round next month in March. I don't have a specific date just yet, so follow me. I will definitely be putting out more information on that. The first round was 8 weeks. I might do 10 weeks this next round to kind of get some more support in there. But we go over all of what I talked about and then some. There's so many modules that I have. There's so much in depth. And there's so much that you're just going to get from the group aspect that I can't just like lay out for you what's going to happen, because that's the magic in how groups work, right? And we talk about social media marketing, but we talk about other marketing. We share other marketing ideas. So it's really all support to help you grow your business.
Awesome. So for anyone who is interested in reaching out to you to learn more about who you are, your services, or to learn about your course, how can they reach you?
Definitely on Instagram. That is the best way to reach me. My Instagram handle is at Realtor Angela Thompson, not Realtor, but Realtor. Realtor Angela Thompson, Thompson. So yeah, follow me. And I'd love to see you. I'd love to meet you all out there. So come on and join in on the fun.
Awesome. Angela, this has been great. It's been very insightful. I look forward to seeing, your course grow and you grow. And I look forward to doing some business with you soon too.
Awesome. Absolutely.
All right. Awesome. This has been the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. Our guest, Miss Angela Thompson. You have a great day.
Thank you for watching the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast with Kevin Jefferson. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when the latest video drops.